Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to this edition of the news. My name is Roshan Hore. As always, we'll begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Justin St-Yumva has joined heads of state and government in the opening ceremony of the 2026 annual meetings of the African Development Bank in Congo, Brazzaville. On Wednesday, the Rwanda National Police will be holding a ceremony to mark 25 years since its founding. And on the international scene in Belgium, 4 people, including 2 teenagers, have been killed after their school bus collided with a train. Now straight to the details. During the annual meetings of the African Development Bank taking place in Brazzaville, that is Congo Brazzaville, speakers called on Africans to work together in finding lasting solutions to major economic and development investment challenges facing the African continent. Discussions on the second day of the conference being held in the Republic of the Congo focused on how Africa can finance its own development at a time when foreign aid and external investment on the continent has been on the decline. The president of the African Development Bank reminded participants that Africa possesses all the resources needed to achieve economic self-sufficiency, including mineral wealth, renewable energy resources, and other assets. The deputy chairperson of the African Union Commission emphasized that young people make up the majority of Africa's population, which she described as a major development advantage compared to other continents. During the conference, the President of the Republic of the Congo, His Excellency Denis Sassou Nguesso, announced that beginning in 2027, his country will remove visa requirements for visitors from other African countries, a move considered an important step toward the continent's integration and cooperation. The annual meetings of the African Development Bank will conclude on Thursday. Other issues to be discussed include financing environmental protection projects in Africa, strengthening regional integration among African countries, strategies for sustainable development across the continent, and related topics. Now, on Wednesday, the Rwanda National Police will be holding a ceremony to mark 25 years since its founding. Scheduled to take place at the police training school, Gishari, the ceremony will coincide with the graduation of junior officers. One of the most significant areas of development for the force over the years has been in training. From a humble start with just the police training school at Gishari, offering basic policing skills and formerly known as communal police training, the Rwanda National Police has expanded into a highly professional organization equipped with modern facilities, specialized training programs, and international partnerships, all focused on preparing officers for complex security issues. It has now 3 main institutions, that is the National Police College in Musanze District, the Police Training School Gishari, and the Counter-Terrorism Training Center Mayanje, that's in Bugesera District. In terms of gender representation, the early years of the force saw low participation of women. However, over time, the gap has closed significantly. With specialized academic programs like a 4-year Bachelor of Information Technology, which has already graduated over 200 police officers, the Rwanda National Police has now established itself as a knowledge-based institution. Now, the Rwanda Supreme Court is encouraging banks and microfinance institutions to embrace mediation in resolving commercial disputes as part of efforts to ease the growing burden of business-related cases in courts. Over the past 3 years, banks have filed 549 cases in various commercial courts, while microfinance institutions have brought 84 cases before the courts. The cases usually arise after disagreements over contracts between 2 parties, mainly related to loans. Officials in the Central Bank of Rwanda have noted that the mediation program introduced within the financial sector has already shown positive results. In the last 3 years, 157 commercial-related cases filed by banks were resolved through mediation, while around 200 cases involving microfinance institutions were also settled through the same process. Now, the Vice President of Honduras, Her Excellency Diana Herrera Portillo has highly praised the cooperation that exists between the government of Rwanda and its development partners, saying it is clearly reflected in the improvement of citizens' living conditions. She made the remarks while visiting development projects implemented jointly by Gicumbi District and World Vision. The Vice President visited a water supply project located in Kajeyo sector, where she was welcomed by residents benefiting from the water distribution system. She and her delegation were also given time to listen to presentations from provincial and district leaders explaining how the government works together with its development partners. The 41-kilometer water supply system she visited provides water to 3,128 residents. Vice President Diana Herrera said she was deeply impressed by the collaboration she saw. The governor of the northern province, Maurice Mugabo Wagahunde, observed that the visit demonstrates the effectiveness of good governance that gives priority to citizens and whose impact is recognized even beyond Rwanda's borders. Now, to agricultural matters, and the Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Development Board has introduced a technology-based system for monitoring cattle reproduction using ultrasound scanners with the aim of increasing productivity. The system uses imaging technology to monitor cows from the time they are artificially inseminated until they give birth. In implementing the program, RAB is working in partnership with France. The French ambassador to Rwanda has confirmed that France is supporting Rwanda by providing equipment and training personnel who will assist in monitoring the system. The Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources has said that the technology will also help identify and select high-quality breeds capable of producing the desired output. Recent statistics from RAB for last year show that more than 117,000 cows underwent artificial insemination, resulting in the birth of 44,543 calves. The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources says there are plans to increase the number of inseminated cattle to more than 741,000 before the year 2028. Now, a global report on technology startups ecosystems conducted across 120 countries and more than 1,500 cities, including Kigali, has ranked Rwanda 4th in East Africa and 10th in Africa among countries building technology as a key pillar of national development and investment attraction. We have the details with Adams Kwizera.
One of the key drivers behind the growth of Rwanda's technology ecosystem has been strong investment from both the government and private sector players, including Nuskin Kigali. After an investment of $20 million at the end of 2023, the hub generated $45 million within 2 years through technology projects developed by more than 1,200 innovators and entrepreneurs working there. Currently, nearly 1,400 Rwandans and foreign nationals work there on a daily basis, with projects that are contributing significantly to both Rwanda and the African continent. According to Abraham Augustine, an employee at the Innovation Hub.
At Open Circle Africa, we created a platform where people, individuals, or companies or service providers can go and register, add their expertise and everything they do, or maybe also their experience. And then with those profiles, we validate them. And then on projects, if we have event management related projects, we can go on the list on the platform, see what talents we have, and then collaborate with them on the projects.
There's an opportunity for you to actually meet with people, to network, and the space has been so conducive and it's really good for business. You come around, you have your life, both professional life and also social life, and it's a kind of a work balance lifestyle around here, and it's been a wonderful place to work in so far, and I really like it here. Our solution is actually like a customer base, so they give us their problem, then we adapt their problem to the solution we provide as a service, as digital service actually, yes.
The report titled Global Startup Ecosystem Index 2026, published on May 19 by the Swiss-based organization Startup Link, indicates that Rwanda recorded a 14.4% growth in startup and technology development during the year. The report also estimates the value of Rwanda's startup ecosystem at $614 million. Another major investment in this sector is Westwall Startup House Kigali. The hub has brought together more than 600 young Rwandan and international entrepreneurs whose projects are valued at over $1 million and have created jobs for more than 300 people. The CEO of the organization, Alexandria Gatare, says the institution has a unique approach.
Primarily, we do support Rwandan startups, but with certain programs like the InsurTech program, we were able to support Nigerian startups, South African startups, Kenyan startups, and also because we have 5 hubs across the continent in Kenya, Tanzania, Tunisia, and now in Ghana, we're able to use that network to further our support for our local startups as well. What differentiates us from other ecosystem supporters is that we're able to give tailored support. We first try to understand the needs of the startups and not just give generic support, and so that has really translated in the work that we've done, and that we're now able to see that the startups we supported 5 years ago are now scaling beyond Rwanda, and we're very proud of that.
Young innovators working in these technology hubs say they are benefiting from mentorship and support that help transform their ideas into market-ready projects.
Our hope is to grow with Rwanda. Everyone comes in and it's very obvious that there is an ambition, there is a vision, there is a place the country is going to. We sit and try to align with that and to the best of our ability, make sure that the community is growing. Actually, that's the key and the most important metric for us. The people who come into this place, the people who make this their home, are they growing? Are they improving? Are they gaining better knowledge? Are they being connected to global networks that will empower them? If you look at the companies we've supported, some of them have grown beyond this space. They have their own offices, their own buildings. They've hired so many people. They're working with the mining industry. We're proud, That's what makes us happy at the end of the day, that people are able to grow.
Rwanda maintained its 4th position in East Africa and 10th position in Sub-Saharan Africa, the same ranking it held in last year's report, among countries prioritizing technology as a driver of national development. Tina Wase, who is responsible for digital literacy and outreach at the ICT Chamber under the Private Sector Federation, says Rwanda continues to perform well in supporting and nurturing technology startups.
It's positioning itself to be on the top leader when it comes to innovation and technology. Looking at how those some of the countries were a bit developed before us, and now that Rwanda is able to compete with them, it gives us hope that maybe in the next 2 to 5 years to come, Rwanda is going to be the top leading country in innovation and in technology. We are working hand in hand with the government because most of the big projects that we are implementing in the private sector, they are funded or they are supported by the government of Rwanda. And by those I can mention the Hunger Hubs. These are 6 hubs with equipments, Fab Lab, digital fabrication equipment, and also a part of software development that provides training to the youth. And looking at the numbers and how the whole ecosystem is growing from the Hunger Hubs, so far we have over 192 startups that were created. We have over 65 that are going to be funded, that are going to be given fundings. You can see that the working together between the private sector and the government is helping a lot the development of the innovation ecosystem.
The report covered 120 countries and 1,550 cities worldwide, including Kigali. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Young people from the refugee camps of Nyabiheke, Mahama and Chibiza are taking part in an advanced basketball development and digital skills training program combining sports mentorship with coding. Enola Gladys reports.
The initiative was organized by partners affiliated with the Basketball Africa League, BAL, including NBA Africa, ServiceNow Africa, and other stakeholders committed to youth empowerment through sports and digital inclusion. Participants say the program is helping them overcome the social isolation often associated with refugee life, while also equipping them with valuable life skills and exposure to technology. The managing director of ServiceNow Africa, which partnered with BAL and NBA Africa to deliver the initiative, said investing in young people through sports and technology creates opportunities for long-term social and economic transformation.
These are people that have been displaced, these are people that have lost everything, and these are people that are starting over. And what we started discussing is, instead of managing the young people in those camps, how do we invest in them? What can we do to invest in them? What can we do around education, around sports, to give them hope and to give them an opportunity to do something bigger? So we started looking at how do we build different computer labs? How do we create an opportunity for them to learn how to code? Because the one thing about coding in sports is it's very simple. It doesn't care where you're from. It doesn't care where you slept. It doesn't matter what language you speak. If you can code or you can play sports, you can be successful. So through coding and through sports and through education, we want to change the lives of the people that live in this camp. About sports, everything that happens on the back end of sports is technology related. The teams that are the best run have a technology platform that enables them to make sure their athletes have everything they need, the vendors have everything they need, the partners have everything they need. So whether it's sports or any other business, the back end is always a technology platform.
The head of corporate brand and products at Rwandair, Bob Rutaringwa, emphasized that BAL continues to contribute to job creation, regional connectivity, and the growth of Africa's sports ecosystem through strategic partnerships, particularly in Rwanda, which is hosting the initiative.
Thank you for that, Georgie. For us, let me first say that BAL, first of all, is not BAL actually. Sports creates movement. And I mean, movement of funds, business, people, all of these things. And so our scope really comes back to the fact that we move people at a scale. So really our scope centers around bringing people together, connectivity. We want to really be the driver for connecting Africa as a whole. And that also speaks into our current strategy or current ambition to be the African career of choice, you know. So really connectivity speaks more into this partnership, into the scope of things that we need to do. Can we, beyond you know, connecting travelers, can we connect to more businesses, you know, partners like BAL? And I believe there are many other partners who are partners with BAL that we can have discussions with. Greenride. There are many other opportunities that we can get from this partnership. So really the scope is around how we can find value from this whole partnership. So for us, connectivity is really important, and we have BAL as our ambassadors in most of these markets where we operate to say, you know, Rwanda is our African airline of choice. So if you love BAL, you love Rwandair. So
during the BAL Innovation Summit, institutional stakeholders and sports industry leaders to discuss the future of professional sports and the innovation-driven economy, BAL President Amadou Galofal noted that one of their priorities is to increase the participation of women and girls in basketball in order to nurture talent, promote inclusion, and support economic empowerment.
Doing is bigger than basketball. Yeah. Listening to the presentation both from Nikki and Alex, you know, is showing that, you know, I think the message is not falling on deaf ears, because this was our goal, this was our agenda from day one, to build something that is bigger than basketball, to build an anchor, you know, for the continent where jobs will be created, tremendous economic value is going to be derived. When you talk about leadership, that capacity building through programs like BL for Her, we are running currently a BL for Her Elevate Camp to make sure that we are pushing the development of women's basketball, not only because women have shown, you know, throughout the history, even in Africa, that they could be world-class athletes. Clarisse Mashangwana, who's in the FIBA Hall of Fame is here with Alison Pfister, Chinegu Mike was here, mentoring this next generation of young girls. We see also through that program tremendous leaders who are playing an integral role in building this ecosystem.
The initiative is currently benefiting around 100 young people from Chiziba Refugee Camp in Karongi District, Mahama Refugee Camp in Kirehe District, and Nyabiheche Refugee Camp in Gatsibo District. Enora Gladys, RTV News.
In Muhanga District, survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi from the former communes of Buringa, Mushubati are calling for historical information and testimonies to be collected and preserved at a museum built at the Nyarusange Genocide Memorial. The appeal was made during activities marking the 32nd commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi here in Rwanda. The Nyarusange Genocide Memorial is the final resting place of the bodies of 1,670 Tutsi, many of whom were killed in Nyarusange, in what was formerly Mushumbati commune, before their bodies were thrown into the Nyabarongo River, according to testimonies from witnesses. The mayor of Muhanga District, Jacqueline Kaitare, spoke about the role of the bad leaders who planned and carried out the genocide. Survivors from Nyarusange and their friends built both the memorial and the museum. However, up to now, no historical material has yet been placed inside the museum. The president of Ibuka in Muhanga District, Fidel Dushimimana, emphasized that preserving historical information at all memorial sites is essential for safeguarding the history of the genocide against the Tutsi. The Nyarusange Genocide Memorial is one of 3 genocide memorial sites located in Muhanga District. Now, survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi from Chinigi have pointed out that Tutsi in the area began being killed even before the plane carrying former Rwandan President Juvenal Habyarimana was shot down. They say this helps counter attempts by some people to distort or minimize the genocide against the Tutsi by claiming that it was merely a reaction to the plane crash. During the 32nd commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi held in Chinigi, some survivors explained that the area's particular history is that killings of Tutsi had already started long before April 1994. They criticized those who seek to deny or trivialize the genocide against the Tutsi by claiming that it was caused by anger over the death of President Habyarimana. The survivors say that the history of Chinigi should be preserved through a memorial that would help both Rwandans and foreign visitors understand what happened there, especially since the area is a major tourist attraction. The Executive Secretary of the Northern Province, Pascal Ngendahimana, has stated that the provincial administration, Musanze District, and other partners are considering building a memorial dedicated to that history. Currently, the Chinigi Memorial Site contains the bodies of 166 Tutsi killed during the genocide, although families who lost relatives there say the number is still far lower than the actual number of victims from the area. During the commemoration activities, one genocide survivor was given a cow. Let's leave it at that for now. But programs are continuing here on Rwanda Television, so don't go anywhere. Until I see you again, it's goodbye.